I'm recording this video the night of January 21st, so what we're going off of is the most recent game between the Winnipeg Jets and the Ottawa Senators, in which the Ottawa Senators ended up losing. The Jets are in a position where they've won the past two games against the Ottawa Senators. Taking a look at things, 4-1 win earlier yesterday, 4-3 win in overtime the day before that, and they did it all without Finnish winger Patrik Laine. Now, this is our topic here today. We have ourselves an article on the Ottawa Sun. Patrik Laine and the Winnipeg Jets will be an interesting situation to watch this season. And this article opens up by talking about how interesting it is that the Winnipeg Jets will actually have themselves a taste of what it's like playing without their star second overall Finn in the series of games they had against the Ottawa Senators, because, hey, we already said it, the guy's out, he's not playing, he hasn't played the past few games. You get the point. Just for the sake of getting the update out of the way, this is from the article that was published the other day. While Laine had planned to make the Jets' three-game trip to Toronto and Ottawa, he tried skating Sunday before the club started practice. He couldn't do it, and he wasn't on the ice at all Tuesday night. The belief in some circles is that the 22-year-old Laine could be out as much as a couple of weeks, but he's listed as day-to-day with what the Jets are calling an upper body injury. He was down at the rink today, he got treatment, but we don't feel he's ready to go tonight, so we'll hold him out another day. That other day was the day that they had yesterday, where they still played without Laine, they still won without Laine, and there's only so much room to go for from here. We've already spoken about this, but Patrik Laine did indeed put himself in a position where trade rumors were running high. His agent, the parties that represent Laine, told the media that it would be better for both parties to get a trade done. There was a Finnish article that came out in the summer that said that whether it's by a trade or by free agency in a few years, Patrik Laine will, with no shade of doubt, leave the Winnipeg Jets sometime in the future. And, you know, with all this stuff coming over here, Patrik Laine's hot start in the NHL this season, getting taken out of the lineup because of injury, and now being in a spot of uncertainty, it really does add another nice flavor to this Patrik Laine trade saga that we have been dealing with over the past few months. The article here on the Ottawa Sun talks about how some people believe Patrik Laine might actually just be able to re-sign an extension for about $9-ish million a season. Some also believe Winnipeg GM Kevin Cheveldayoff will be tempted to make a move before the trade deadline because the Jets will have no interest in being involved in that kind of contract. And so, because it's fun to talk about, the writer Bruce Garrioch goes over a few suggestions as to what could actually be done here on the trade front with Patrik Laine. He firstly mentions the same idea we've been slowly hinting towards in these videos. The guy who was taken immediately after Patrik Laine in the 2016 draft, third overall, and who is having his own problems with his own team, Pierre-Luc Dubois. If you saw the video we made earlier today, yeah, we discussed what happened there. He got benched again, and it was very ugly this time. But Garrioch does indeed highlight that specific idea. He says that Kekalainen would certainly have more than a passing interest in Laine, pure goal-scoring ability, etc., etc., etc. The article does note, though, that anybody who is in the mix for Patrik Laine would want to talk to him about a contract extension. Nobody would want to give up players, prospects, and picks for someone who has salary arbitration rights and is only 2 years away from becoming a UFA, and so things get a little bit more spicy in that context. Obviously, yes, you don't want to trade away a whole bunch of stuff for a guy that you're going to lose out on. Teams that do that, unless they're Stanley Cup championship contenders, normally have some short foresight. Don't you just hate it when you trade away picks and prospects, like, for example, I don't know, you trade away a second and a guy who is playing at Northeastern University who's very good that you picked up in the third round of a draft a few years ago. You trade away that and a second or a third or whatever for a guy that only joins you for a playoff run and that he doesn't come back because you don't re-sign him and he goes to Montreal instead. That hurts, does it not? Yeah, I'm totally not talking about Tyler Toffoli here. Please, forgive me. But we go over into another paragraph here in the article, says the Jackets are not alone. You can include the Red Wings, the Flyers, the Devils, and the Blackhawks as teams that would be interested in Laine. People have talked about the Carolina Hurricanes having interest, but that makes zero sense because they wouldn't want to shell out that kind of cash. And so, that's our main idea here today. Patrik Laine, Detroit, Chicago, New Jersey, Philly's the other one. We've already spoken about Philly a ton, so I guess I kind of want to leave that one a little bit out there. But these other teams are new teams that we actually haven't discussed the Patrik Laine trade idea with before. And it's honestly kind of funny how it's taken us this long for somebody to actually bring it up, because Detroit, being the team that we know Detroit is, last in the league last year, very bad last year, looking to go up because the future is great for Detroit. We haven't really spoken at all about Patrik Laine and the Red Wings and how things might go if Stevie Y went out there, one of the best goal scorers, point producers, NHL players ever, and he wanted to acquire a fantastic Finn like Patrik Laine. Now, I don't want to be the guy who starts bringing up returns or what it would take or whatever, but we all kind of know the same thing, right? The Winnipeg Jets would only accept a trade that would make their team better, and it's tough to do that when you're trading for a guy to replace Patrik freaking Laine. Which means there's a defenseman going back the other way too. There are other assets that make your team a lot deeper. If you're a Red Wings team that has good players that are young, like for example Anthony Mantha or Tyler Bertuzzi or whatever, leaning more towards Anthony Mantha though, by the way, you still have an ability to go out there and make somewhat of a proposal if you go out there and say, okay, we have some good young defensemen who might be able to help yourselves out. But at the same time, what exactly is a John Merrill or a Troy Stecher or a, dare I say, Mark Stahl gonna do for a Winnipeg Jets team that's gonna be trading away Patrik Laine? Obviously, these defensemen have value, but I don't really know if these are the kinds of guys that would make Kevin Cheveldayoff say yes in a trade with the second overall 2016 draftee. It's a fun discussion to have, but I don't really know how plausible it is. Same thing with the Chicago Blackhawks. They're in a position where they have some very good young pieces. Philip Kurashev is over here. You have Kirby Dach, of course, but he's out. DeBrincat, Strome, etc. There are some very good pieces that are young over here on the Chicago Blackhawks team that definitely could be middle six forwards on most NHL teams, if not the Winnipeg Jets. The question remains, though, would the Winnipeg Jets be satisfied with a Connor Murphy or a Zadorov or a Boakfist, who is probably not going to get traded anytime soon, but will throw his name into the conversation just for the heck of it, coming back in a trade? That's certainly interesting to think about, and of course, having Patrik Laine play with Patrick Kane would be just so funny, man. Just seeing these guys setting each other up on the power play, Kane to Laine. They've got the same first name, similar last names. Just that connection seems so great. Plus, I didn't really talk about this with Detroit either. Imagine Larkin with Laine too, the L line, the L pairing. That would be really interesting as well. Then you have the other team, the New Jersey Devils. Just think about it, man. Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, Nikita Gusev, and Patrik Laine. Oh my gosh, that sounds beautiful. Maybe it's a Kyle Palmieri going the other way. Who knows? Maybe it's another asset that the Devils have that indeed is proving himself to be a capable NHL forward. Obviously, I'm not going to say Jack Hughes. No way. But there are indeed some other assets here on the Devils that might intrigue Cheveldayoff. Also on D, you have a few really nice defenders that I do like as well. So is there a conversation there? Who really knows? But for any of the fans of these teams, the Blackhawks, the Devils, or the Red Wings, feel free to let me know in the comments below if you were going out there and trading for Patrik Laine. You're the GM of your favorite hockey team. What is the most you're giving up? Because we know what it is the Winnipeg Jets want. They want assets to help out their team now, as well as probably some other future stuff. But they're only saying yes if it makes their team better. And while Patrik Laine in himself is a very good asset, you could kind of overflow the other depth parts of your lineup into making a trade that says, okay, even though we're getting the better player in Patrik Laine, you guys are becoming the better team with this trade where you're acquiring a nice guy to replace Laine who's not bad, and you're getting some nice depth defenseman or a very good defenseman, who really knows. Tell me in the comments what is the max you would be willing to give up. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.